You know the feeling. We've all been there, right? You're stuck in a long line of cars, just staring at that endless wall of orange cones and heavy machinery, and you're thinking, there has to be a better way to do this. Well, turns out there is. Behind all that dust and the frustrating delays of modern roadwork, there's actually a super sophisticated layer of technology working overtime to keep traffic moving and, more importantly, to keep everyone safe. So let's dig into the hidden systems that are bringing order to all that chaos. And the answer to that question? It's a huge, definite yes. You know, that feeling of pure chaos is exactly what engineers and traffic managers are working around the clock to prevent. What might look to us like just a simple roadblock is actually a highly coordinated, tech-driven operation. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the smart systems that really do manage the madness. All right, here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at the core problem itself. Then we'll build up from the basic safety gear to the human planning that's involved. From there, we dive into the really cool high-tech stuff, exploring the highway's own nervous system and all its parts, before we wrap it all up with why this really matters for your daily drive. Okay, first up, let's just lay out the fundamental challenge here. Because to really get the solution, you first got to appreciate just how complex the problem is. So think about a modern highway. It's really its own ecosystem, right? It's designed for one main thing, a smooth, nonstop flow of thousands of cars every single hour, all moving at pretty high speeds. It's basically a river of steel and glass. Now, imagine you have to perform major surgery on this living, breathing system. You can't just shut it down. The real challenge is to rebuild the artery while blood is still pumping through it, all without causing a total disaster. That, right there, is the central problem that all road construction safety and traffic management is trying to solve. So how do you even begin? Well, you start with the physical foundation of safety. This is the stuff we can all see, the everyday objects, but they're all governed by some very, very specific rules. As you can see laid out in the official roadwork specs, every single construction zone is built on this essential toolkit. You've got your traffic cones and drums to channel cars, barricades to block off dangerous areas, and of course, those super bright, high-visibility jackets for the workers. These are what we'd call the passive physical boundaries. They define the workspace, sure, but they don't actually manage the flow of traffic. For that, you need a plan. Because let's be honest, passive objects can only do so much. To really manage the flow, you need active, intelligent planning. Before a single piece of high-tech equipment is switched on, there's a really crucial human element. This quote right here, this is the guiding star for all construction zone planning. It's not just about getting the work done. It's about getting it done with the least possible disruption. And that principle isn't just a nice idea. It's written directly into the regulations, and it governs every single decision that's made on a site. And to make sure that principle is followed, every single project requires a formal traffic management plan. And this isn't some sketch on the back of a napkin. No way. It's a super detailed document that outlines every sign, every safety device, and every single emergency procedure. And that plan must be submitted and get the green light from the supervising engineer before a single cone even touches the pavement. There is absolutely no improvising. Okay, now we get to the really fascinating part. Once the physical setup and the human plans are locked in, it's time to plug in the brain. And that brain is the Advanced Traffic Management System, or ATMS for short. So what is an ATMS? Well, according to Section 816 of the official specs, it's an integrated suite of technologies. It's not just one thing. It's a whole collection of smart devices that are all working together. And their job is to watch, to analyze, and to communicate, all in real time to make the roads safer and way more efficient for all of us. Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around this is to think of it as the highway's digital nervous system. Seriously, it's got sensors to feel what's happening, cameras to see everything, and electronic signs to speak to drivers. And all of this information flows back to a central control center. That's the brain, which then makes decisions to manage the flow. So let's break that nervous system down, shall we? What are the key parts that actually make a construction zone smart? And this lays it out perfectly. You've got the CCTV cameras, which are the eyes. Then there are traffic sensors. Think of them as the nerve endings, feeling the pulse of the traffic. The variable message signs are the voice, communicating directly with us drivers. And maybe the most important part, Incident detection systems. These are the reflexes, reacting instantly when something goes wrong. So the eyes of the system, these are the closed-circuit television cameras. And they aren't just there for security. They're providing a constant, live visual feed to human operators in a control center. This lets them actually see what the other sensors are reporting and understand the nuances of a situation. Now, the system's voice is the part that you and I interact with most directly. Those huge electronic signs, the VMS, that's its output. The really crucial thing here is that they take all that raw data and turn it into actionable information for you, updated instantly to warn you about a sudden backup, maybe suggest another route, or even give you an estimated travel time. And now, for the reflexes. This is where artificial intelligence really enters the picture. Video Incident Detection Systems, or VIDS, use smart cameras that aren't just passively recording, they are actively analyzing the video feed. They're programmed to recognize things that are out of the ordinary, like a car that's suddenly stopped, a vehicle going the wrong way, or traffic that just slams on the brakes. And here's what's really amazing, the speed. According to the specs, this system has to be able to detect a stopped vehicle and trigger an alert in under 10 seconds. Just think about that for a moment. Before a human operator might even notice a problem on one of their monitors, the automated system has already identified it and shot an alarm to the control center. That is an absolute game changer for emergency response time. So, okay, we've gone from orange cones to detailed plans to a full-on digital nervous system. But what does it all add up to? Why does any of this matter for your drive to work? Well, when you put it all together, a smart construction zone achieves 4 really critical things. First, and this is the most important, it dramatically enhances safety for everyone by spotting hazards in seconds. Second, it gives us drivers real-time info, which cuts down on stress and that awful element of surprise. Third, by actively managing the traffic flow, it can actually help reduce congestion and shorten your trip time. And finally, like we just saw, it makes emergency response way, way faster and more effective. So the next time you're approaching those flashing lights in orange barrels, maybe you'll see something a little different. It's not just an inconvenience. It's not just a roadblock. It's a complex, highly planned, and increasingly intelligent safety system working in real time, all to rebuild our world while keeping us safe on the move.